the last, perhaps not the last, but the model I will concentrate now is linguistics as computation. This, in fact, is an evolution of the previous model of Chomsky. As I said, Chomsky created the facilitator framework for the next step of language as computation. This step, this metaphor, is highly influenced by the functional paradigm in philosophy of the mind, where the mind is analyzed as a kind of computational model which uses symbols in order to obtain results. So, following this model, language is understood as a communicative process based on knowledge. And this definition is quite important because it highlights the two more important notions in this perspective. The notion of process. Language is a process. That's very important. In the rest of perspective, language was different. Was a different thing. Sometimes the language was a kind of organization, kind of structure in the chemical point of view. For other, in other perspective, like the generative perspective of language, generative linguistics, language is mainly the attribution of performance and competence in the mind of the user. And in this case, language is a process, and the second idea is that this process is based on knowledge. And of course, we should define very well what we mean, what is knowledge in this case. This is not easy anyway, but we have an initial intuition about what should be knowledge. And in any case, behind this perspective, this metaphor about language, the notion of knowledge, it plays an important role, and depending on how we understand what this knowledge is or should be, there may appear different approaches to what is linguistics. Anyway, in this perspective, the producer and comprehender of language are processing information, and this reminds us the computational metaphor, the processing of information. And in this process of information, these actors, the producer and the comprehender of language, use their knowledge about the language, but also their knowledge about the domain, about what they are speaking about, and even about the whole world. Sometimes this is a phenomenon that is very well known in artificial intelligence, when we are trying to define a theorem prover. The more subtle notions from the outer world may or may not facilitate the final result of the system. So these components of the outer world are quite important in order to obtain real application of using human languages. And in this case, notions such as program and data constitutes the theoretical building for this computational model of mental processing. So I would like to highlight the strong connection between this metaphor of linguistics, of the study of language as computation, with that, as I have mentioned, of the functional perspective in philosophy of the mind, and also with the notion of computational device developed in computer science, and the different approaches to the specification and analysis of these computational devices. Well, once I have presented the study of language and the platform in which we build current application of natural language processing using this computational metaphor, I would like to just remember that this is not just the last one, the last metaphor in the study of language. There are several new ideas that are being building some problem that this metaphor or this approach to the study of language cannot analyze very well, like the evolution of language, the connection of language with from the computational approach, from this perspective, is very difficult to understand the connection between the language, the mind, and the word. So we have to suppose that there is some kind of connection, but there appears what is called the semantic gap between the language and the word. We cannot, using a computer, obtain a strong connection between the symbol in the computer and something in the real world. How can we connect the symbol chair with a specific chair? It's not possible in this approach. We have to suppose that there is a connection, but this connection only appears in the mind of the user of the system, not in the system itself.